Good morning. My favorite Easter tradition was dyeing eggs with my mom. Happy Easter.
I like taking the picture with the big Easter bunny.
When I was little, my grandmother used to cook a really big dinner, and all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins would come over on Easter. And that's my favorite Easter tradition from when I was young.
My favorite Easter tradition from when I was little was when all of the cousins and I would get up and go over to Grandma and Grandpa's house later in the morning or in the afternoon, and we would get our second Easter basket of the morning from Grandma, and then we would all go outside and they would count down and let us run, and we would run all over their huge backyard and have a big Easter egg hunt and see who could find the most eggs to get even more candy.
We love to dye Easter eggs, and Alec used to like to draw, so he would draw with crayons little pictures on the Easter eggs. So they were voluminously decorated.
As a kid, Easter meant that the whole family got up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning so we could all go to the sunrise service at Beechmont Christian Camp.
My favorite is going on Easter egg hunts.
My favorite thing about Easter is the candy.
I like candy too.
How do you get candy on Easter? Tell me about it.
You open Easter eggs, and then there's candy inside.
My favorite part of Easter is opening up my Easter basket and getting all the candy, and then also going to the Easter egg hunt, because I remember doing it when I was little, and now I'm able to help other people now that I'm older.
So when I was a child, maybe 5 years old, our church had an Easter egg hunt, and whatever child found the golden egg was going to get some kind of special prize. And it was probably just wrapped in tin foil or something, but the idea of the golden egg just captivated my memory, and never found it. I thought about it for years, and to this day, part of me is just always in search of the golden egg.
Oh, the Smoggins asked me to make their video because they don't really have any traditions. So my tradition is I put on my best bow tie and I go to church. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Hi, we're here with Paige's dad, Jim McDonald, who is about to celebrate his 92nd Easter. And we thought we'd give you some of our Easter remembrances. I remember when Paige and I were dating, we went to a friend's farm and had a Easter egg hunt. I was probably 27 at the time. Paige was 13.
No. 22.
And we were hunting for the golden egg amongst all the other eggs, and lo and behold, I found the golden egg. I was the hero of the day.
Last time.
I have a lot of memories of Easter that are really special, but when I was a little kid, my parents owned a restaurant, and they normally didn't open on Sundays, especially not Sunday at lunch. But on Easter, quite a few of the years, they would open specially for a brunch, and since it wasn't really advertised, it was mostly people from church that came over there, and one of the kids at church just sort of performed on the guitar and sang, and everyone just sat around and ate the brunch. And so it was always special to come back to the restaurant from church, and we would search out our Easter baskets, and then everyone would show up and just spend a few hours sitting around and eating and having fun, and that was always really special.
Well, life is silly.
Yeah. Dad,
where'd you get that hat? I was talking about silly.
This is my Easter bonnet. This is close as I can come to an Easter bonnet.
Okay, that's good.
One of my favorite memories about Easter was when I was little, my parents used to hide our Easter baskets somewhere in our house, and they would put clues around, and it was a little scavenger hunt, and I just remember waking up and being so excited to try to find the clues and where things were.
One of my favorite Easter traditions from when my kids were younger was dressing them up in their Easter outfits. Matching dresses and little hats for the girls and a seersucker suit for Alex. They won't let me do that anymore, so I sure do like seeing all the Emmanuel kids dressed up in their Easter finery now.
When I was a teenager, my sister Coleman was a little, what we call little tacker, and one Easter my mother asked me to help find a place to hide her Easter basket. So I did that, and on Easter morning, Coleman looked and looked and looked and looked and couldn't find it. She was almost in tears. And so then I gave her some hints, and she found it in the washing machine. So if any of you need any suggestions about another place that you haven't used, I offer this one, the washing machine. Happy Easter.
My favorite Easter memory is the Emmanuel egg hunt. Not only when we were little and got the golden egg, but also when we helped the little kids more recently in the cemetery.
My favorite Easter memory is when we were in Texas and I was 4 years old and I stole and ate everybody's chocolate bunnies, and then I didn't like chocolate for a really long time.
So the Easter bunny that came to our house when my children were little was very playful, and she would leave notes where she had hidden their baskets. So they would get up Easter morning and the first thing they might find is a little note that said, "Check where the dishes go." And then they would run to where the dishes were and they might find another note there that said, "Look behind a little round door." And when they figured out that that was the dryer, they would run to the dryer and the notes would go on for a long time and they would have to hunt and hunt to find their baskets.
My favorite Easter memory was always hunting for my Easter basket in the morning, and one of my favorite places I ever found it was hidden in the dryer.
My favorite memory of Easter at Emmanuel is putting out all the eggs with my aunt and watching all the kids go and get them in the graveyard.
My favorite memory is just being able to see my family and see my grandparents and cousins.
My favorite Easter memory is doing the egg hunt at my grandparents' house, and I always picked up the pink eggs and my grandfather helped me carry them.
One of my favorite Easter traditions at Emmanuel is singing and hearing hymn 178. Alleluia, alleluia, give thanks to the risen Lord.
Now, I always look forward to the hymns on Easter. It's my favorite part, especially singing the harmonies. There's some great harmonies on This Joyful Eastertide and The Strife is O'er. There's just some really good stuff, and it always makes me happy to be singing those with everyone else in church.
So one of the traditions I love here at Emmanuel for Easter is the lovely music, and being able to be part of that makes it very special for me, and I look forward to the next time we can do that.
After consulting with my daughters, we all agreed that the best memory from Easter when they were little was the creation and procession of the Easter flower cross by the church school. Easter morning, the children would bring flowers. I would be outside by the church waiting for them. I had the flower cross 2.5 feet high, white, encased in chicken wire, and they would stick their flowers into the chicken wire and completely cover the cross with it. At the offertory, the children would precede the cross behind the ushers, and it joined the magnificent display of all the other flowers on the altar that day. And then afterwards, the lay visitor would take it to the person who was most deserving to have that reminder of the Easter resurrection.
I'm holding up a small red-line version of the New Testament. It was a small Bible that was given to me by my grandmother on a return from a trip to the Holy Land in 1954. On the inside, she wrote a small, brief note to me saying Happy Easter, signed it April 18th, 1954, from Jerusalem. It's something I've always had, and this time of the year I always reflect on my wonderful grandmother, and it's something that has been very special to me over the years.
We wish everyone a happy Easter. Stay healthy, stay hygienic, and we'll be in church soon.
We're missing everybody. Take care.
My favorite current Easter tradition has to do with the music, of course. I, during Lent, don't use the very grand and brilliant sounds on the organ. And I don't use the Zimbelstern, the bells that go on and I keep it more subdued and reflective sounding. But then on Easter, I bring back all the big sounds.
My favorite Easter tradition at Emmanuel is, well, there are several, but one major one is hearing that prelude, Jesus Christ is risen today, that Jen does. The particular version that she does is so powerful, and it just feels so glorious to me after all of the calm and quietness of Lent. And then I also love it when we get to the end of the service and line all of the kids up and have that annual picture of all the kids together, and then release them for the Easter egg hunt in the cemetery.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine.